What's a crazy loophole you exploited that ended up working? My client walks into the office and asks us for a contract review. He then hands over an HOA contract. Before going through a whole HOA contract, I asked him what he was hoping to accomplish. They want me to dig up my sunflowers. Your sunflowers? Yes. I planted a row of sunflowers outside my house. They came by and said that sunflowers are not allowed for the contract I signed, so I want you to tell me if that is true or not. Sir, before anything else, I need to tell you that this will likely be an hourly fee bill. HOAs are notorious for dragging things out, so these could quickly become expensive. Sunflowers, I don't care. This is America, and I should be able to plant sunflowers. God damn it. Still thinking he wasn't that serious about sunflowers, I asked for a 3-hour retainer. He immediately pulled out a checkbook and paid for 4 hours, so I buckled down to review the alleged anti-sunflower clause. Just for reference, the sunflowers he wanted to plant were really big at 5 feet tall and stretched all along the front of the house. It was a very substantial amount of sunflowers. The contract did indeed contain a clause with a very thorough list on which plants were and were not allowed to be planted. The list had just about every plant I could think of in alphabetical order. Sunflowers, included corn, was not included, which became very important later. Quick legal point, if you write no dogs allowed, it is normally assumed that you are talking about all dogs. Generally, if you write no labs, golden retrievers, or poodles allowed, it is normally assumed that all other dogs are allowed. Sometimes a not great attorney will write a super long list to raise their billable hours, instead of just writing no plants without prior approval or something. I called the client back in for the bad news. In explaining the above legal point, I let him know that the HOA got a poorly drafted contract. No, you can't plant any sunflowers, but if it makes you feel any better, they were probably overbilled by whoever wrote this contract. Pretty shoddy work too. They even forgot to write down corn, but they included nonsense like dragon fruit. So I can plant corn but notice sunflowers? I didn't really check the contract for corn, but it's not prohibited in the plant section, so probably excellent. That'll work. I thought he was oddly happy with the bad news. Then, 2 or 3 weeks later, he came in with a picture of his house surrounded by huge sunflowers. What happened? This guy drove out to the country and bought obnoxiously large and ugly corn stalks. He promptly planted them where the sunflowers had been. When confronted by the HOA, he told them to suck it in. The contract lets him plant corn. Then, after some negotiation, he agreed to take the corn down in exchange for permission to plant sunflowers. Now we are friends. He is still a great client, and he lives surrounded by a ridiculous mode of sunflowers.